This couple got a little carried away decorating their kitchen.
We've created this space and now we come in here and we're like, ah!
Which designer has a plan to unmask this kitchen's full potential? Stay tuned. Welcome to Designer's Challenge. I'm Chris Harrison. Mike and Lori Pond moved into their Tudor Revival house in Eagle Rock, California over a decade ago. With 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, they knew the space had a lot of potential.
We both really like older architecture and a house that has a good structure, good bones to it. That's what really interested me about this house.
The house is over 75 years old, and it seemed to me that we could really make it into something that we could call our own.
We love to explore various points of the world, and we love to decorate our home with all the art that we find there and bring a part of the world back with us.
My favorite room in the house, I would have to say, is the living room, because
he likes to lie on the couch and zone out.
That's the most important part of the living room. But also, it's a large room, and it gives plenty of room for us to stuff with all our goodies.
The room that we probably dislike the most, that is a challenge room for us, is our kitchen. Here we are in our kitchen, and we always have to enter through our Balinese temple doors. We've created this space, and now we come in here and we're like, ah!
A lot of time in the kitchen just kind of standing around cooking and washing dishes, and
so we want to have stuff we like to look at.
Something that's fun. It takes the drudgery out of the whole thing.
We would like to replace this linoleum in the kitchen with something that would be typical of the time period that the house was built. And as far as the counters, we're really interested in looking into getting some really nice ceramic tile.
One of the challenges of the kitchen is incorporating some of the newer technology. We have a nice stereo in here, but it's very modern looking. So the concern is how we're going to get that to fit into kind of the old kitchen look.
Because this is an older house, we kind of think it would be weird to have modern looking appliances, but I really am not in favor of using an authentic stove as much as it looks good.
Besides new appliances, they also want to do something about the old cabinetry.
This doesn't close really well, and the paint's chipping, and it's like generations of dirt on there. And also these cabinets, you open them up and it's like, there's stuff from 1950 back in there. You know, there's like, I can't even see what's in the back there, and I'd kind of like to. The other consideration we have is our loads of folk art that we want to have a nice display for. So what we're thinking about is perhaps having one of those greenhouse type windows. And we're also considering perhaps taking out this wall here that divides a hallway and the breakfast nook.
We purchased a table overseas in Indonesia, and we really like it. It's probably a little bit too big, and so something's got to give.
Hopefully the wall, because the table has to stay.
Mike and Lori have budgeted $50,000 to update their kitchen. Let's meet the designers who are ready to take on the project. First in the hot seat is designer David Levine of B. David Levine Designs. He has a background in fine arts and architectural design.
I like to really work with a client to make their dream come true. I'm like a chameleon. When I'm listening to the client, I become them while I'm working on their design. Mike and Lori are a lot of fun to design for because they want things in their kitchen that people just don't want today. Everybody today wants granite counters. They want the traditional California Malibu type tile, and they want things that are different.
Next in line is designer Ron Woodson of Ron Woodson Fine Art and Design. He specializes in restorative design.
I think the key to good design is color, proportion, and texture. And I also think it's very important to listen to the entire property that you're doing, not just one room. Lori and Mike want to achieve an old world style for their kitchen, and that poses a challenge in that I'll have to find products from a bygone era, but also mixed with 21st century amenities.
Finally, we have Bill Honey of West Coast Kitchen and Bath and Lori Burke of Burke Design Consulting. This design build team has been collaborating for 5 years.
In today's kitchens, most clients now are not only looking at practicality, but they're trying to incorporate their lifestyle in the kitchens.
Michael and Lori have a unique kitchen, and the challenge for us is to maintain the integrity of the style of the house and also to be able to integrate their own style.
We'll see what the designers want to keep and what they want to change when we come back. But is the couple ready for the frustrations ahead?
I think it would be really good if you could be here. I don't want to handle this myself.
Mike and Lori have challenged 3 designers to modernize their kitchen without losing all its charm. First to take a crack at this kitchen is designer David Levine, whose plan is all about balance.
I have designed you a kitchen that looks like it's always been a part of the house, but has been freshened and lived in over the years, and it's actually a background for your folk art gallery. I laid it out so that you actually have 3 basic areas, but I've removed the wall that was in here. Now you have basically your task area over here, and you have like a den breakfast area over here, which incorporates eating, a banquette, and you have a utility area back in here.
David centers the stove and the sink opposite each other in the front of the space. A bay window above the sink will give them an area to show off their collectibles.
When we took this wall out, we kept the space of the original, I guess, the ice box that was in the house, and we're going to incorporate a piece of stained glass into the original door, and the stained glass will look like this over here. And then inside of it, it will be the wine bottles, and we have a little door and a little pull-out in there. So what we've created here for you is a little banquette area, and we've kept your original table, and we want to fill the whole corner with pillows, and then just have different kinds of ethnic kind of patterns and bright colors. And then all along the top, we have a plate ledge or a shelf, all placed to display your folk art. This is an amazing thing. This is a reproduction of an antique grate, a ceramic grate, for covering your heating ducts.
Wow.
I was hoping to put one of these on the duct that's so prominent in your ceiling.
That's
this
really
is just,
cool.
But I just thought it would give a tremendous amount of texture to the room.
Yeah, it's so different.
David suggests a walnut floor with the planks running the shorter width of the room to visually widen the space. Red countertop tiles laid on the diagonal would have a similar effect.
And we've created a plaster hood over the stove with a tile inset and an arch that mimics the arches in the house. And it will have decorative tiles that will run in the middle of it.
The wall color looks like blue on there.
Yes, this is the color for the wall, and we'll wrap that color up onto the ceiling and down the walls. And then the cabinetry will be this sort of off-white against it, that sort of creamy tone.
And it's just amazing how you put together all of our concerns. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. It's been so
effort.
much fun, and it's been a great challenge. Thank you.
Ron Woodson arrives next with a design that mixes contemporary and classic styles.
I wanted to allow you to have all of your masks and pieces in your kitchen, as well as keeping the kitchen with the period of the house. And we've taken the long wall, the pony wall, out completely, so it opens the kitchen up. And we kept the basic configuration of the sink and the upper and lower cabinets. I've provided you with a wine closet that will house at least 60 bottles of wine. Wow. And I left this cabinet open for your cookbooks, and I did an inset into the wall here that would be tiled. And you'd have a 12-inch flat screen TV and your CD player. And these would be your speakers that would be built in. We've also added a medium walnut hardwood floor. Also, I added Venetian blinds over the sink and in the breakfast nook. I've spec'd a self-rimming sink, and this would be your tile for the countertop, but it would be trimmed in the royal blue. This band would be your backsplash. And then we would pick up the lighter blue in 3x5 tiles evenly all the way around. And then we would take this whole pattern, and that would be behind your stove.
To match the tiles, Ron would put blue on the walls, but would keep the room bright by using an off-white on the ceiling, trim, and cabinets.
With a maple glaze, so that it has a feeling of being older.
Somewhat beaten up, but
exactly,
new, so that's good.
Exactly. And I've also just shown a bit of a description of how your art could be placed around the room. And I've also added recessed lighting. That would be on dimmers, so it could be ambient as you needed it.
And where do you see that light going?
I see this light going over your breakfast table in the nook.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a
Thanks
pleasure
for all your
working
great
on this
ideas
project.
and a great looking kitchen.
Next up is the team of Bill Honey and Lori Burke, who picture a functional kitchen with vintage touches.
Our concept for the room is to really widen the space, and we're going to do that by removing the wall between the utility room and the breakfast nook area.
So now you have a larger kitchen.
That's great. More room for folk art.
Exactly.
Yes,
Plenty of
right.
room for that.
A better use of space is to take the range out of its current position in this area and relocate it over to the right of the sink wall.
Interesting.
So this is where the location of the refrigerator is going to be. It's going to be a refrigerator concealed behind cabinet panels. So it gives it a very complete built-in look.
We went with more of a traditional apron front sink here. We've relocated your window over about a foot to give you a little more balanced counter space. We've also added additional shelving throughout your whole kitchen.
And one of the problems with the current layout is cabinet heights are very low. So we intend to raise the base cabinet height up to about 37.5 inches with a tile countertop. And so now you won't be hunching over your counter. You can stand tall and feel more comfortable.
I can stand tall and cook.
Yes, you'll have a more comfortable work zone for preparing your meals.
And is this under cabinet lighting?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've updated your lighting. We do want to incorporate your existing lamp fixtures. We think they're beautiful, and we think we can use them again. What we would like to do is add in some more functional task lighting, and we'll do that with under cabinet lighting throughout.
We definitely need that because we're getting old and blind.
Bill and Lori would cover the floors with the neutral colored linoleum, but plan to use hand-painted tiles to bring in color to the backsplash.
We want to go with old California theme for the tile. So I've brought 3 selections over and showing you the different color ranges you can get into with the blues. We would pick it up as a relief tile on a diagonal on the splash, and that would follow all throughout the splashes.
Yeah, really nice. Well, thank you so much for
welcome.
all your effort and great design ideas.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
The couple now has 7 days to figure out which plan is their favorite. They'll make their choice when we come back, but are they prepared for the long road ahead?
Everything has gone wrong.
Mike and Lori were surprised to discover how different 3 designs for the same kitchen can be. They've had a week to think things over and are finally ready to name a winner.
Well, we decided to go with David because he really was able to take all the millions of ideas that we had and somehow make sense of all of it, and I think it's really going to work well.
Considering our needs, it's going to be a good trick.
Work barely gets underway before concern sets in.
I'm very nervous about this whole demo thing.
But Lori's nervousness turns to excitement when the crew finds a little slice of history in the walls.
1933 LA Times.
While the workers continue tearing out the old kitchen walls, David takes Mike and Lori to sign off on the stained glass windows.
Hi, Hank.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Good.
Just doing a little work on your window.
Wow.
Well, what do you think?
It's spectacular.
Beautiful.
It's
These are all
just
the-
amazing. It's so complex. How many glass pieces did you use?
This one has 226 pieces of glass in it.
Wow.
And there'll be 140 in your other one.
Wow.
Although the window looks impressive, Hank still has a lot more work to do before it's finished.
And then the next process is what we call mudding it, putting the glazing compound into the back of the window so it doesn't leak and there's no rattling pieces of glass in it. Then I'll put the patina over the top of which will darken it, and this will really bring the color out a lot more. Then I'll go ahead and put a wax coat over the top of it, which will finish it up. It'll have a real shiny
So you're not
finish
even
to it.
halfway done doing this
No,
yet. It looks
no.
like you have most of your work. Even though to me it looks like, wow, it's almost ready. Let's just take it home now.
I'm afraid it might fall apart, you do that.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
The second window is for the back door. David has some suggestions on colors and styles, but ultimately, it's up to Mike and Lori.
Boy, the jigsaw puzzle.
I know, so how crazy are we going to get on this one?
Well, let's see.
Love that. Love that. Hate that.
on any element.
Now, if you pick up that piece of glass over there, Mike, this glass here, I thought.
Oh. It looks like a geologic
Yeah, right.
strata of some kind. Like
Yeah.
just dug it out of a mountain. That's
Do you
really,
like it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll cut this piece to fit in here. I'll cut some of the others to match into there. Then when you come back next time, you'll get a little better view like you do of this one with the lead in it.
Great.
Then you can make any changes and it'll just give you a better perspective of what it looks like. So,
Sounds great.
Well, thank you, Hank.
all right, Dave.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you again.
Back at home, things aren't going as smoothly. The project is delayed when contractors discover they'll need to put new headers over all the doors and windows. As if that weren't enough, the sealer applied to the countertop tiles has made the finish uneven and doesn't seem to hold up.
If you look at the original tile, it's matte. It's not glossy like this stuff is anyway.
So what happens is when the food goes on it, the sealer breaks down for some reason and it disappears.
Can the tile be saved?
All we have to do is buy a gallon of salsa and get rid of the sealer.
Will the end result be worth all the stress? The finished room is just around the corner. For 7 long months, craftsmen and workers have been toiling away in Mike and Lori's kitchen. With a budget of $50,000, designer David Levine was challenged to create a functional space that would show off the couple's style. They hit several snags that caused delay and frustration.
Everything has gone wrong that could possibly go wrong.
David worked hard to get the project back on track. Let's see how he did.
We couldn't have done that kitchen without David.
No, he was able to translate everything that we had in our heads over the years into a unique, cohesive vision, which is incredible.
It's a miracle in itself.
Yeah.
Here we are with your brand new kitchen. Can you finally believe it's done?
It's done.
It's
It's
incredible.
incredible.
Beautiful, amazing. There's so much to see.
And we've got your stove, your custom hood, all sculpted, all of the custom Malibu tile.
Almost looks like a fireplace with a little mantle there.
Yeah, those individual elements really make the house a home. We have something that we feel is very unique.
We had to incorporate all of our tchotchkes, which you did really well by putting in these shelves over by the sink and this little shelf here for all my little hoo-haws.
There's elements in here of an antique kitchen, which is what was important to us. The house was built in the 20s, and it's updated just enough, and it does work well with our collection of folk art.
You know, we wanted to keep the original 1927 flavor of the house. So the cabinetry, I think, even though it's all been totally reproduced, looks identical to the feeling of what would have been here in its time.
So David, I was really nervous about doing a dark color in the kitchen. And look how great it turned out.
I think that
it's
magnificent.
It actually works.
You should never be afraid of color because it's an incredible thing and it totally shapes the space.
I had no idea how much it was going to set off the artwork, you know, and how it makes this light fixture look really great.
It's so
Before it was
warm.
kind of lost in the ceiling because it was beige paint, and now it just really stands out.
And I'm so glad we kept your original light fixtures as the main fixtures because they work so well with the house.
Yeah. The other thing that's really cool is that vent, which is, you know, from that time period, that Malibu style design. But the blue really sets it off.
It sets it off.
It was a good thing that you wrapped the whole thing instead of just making the ceiling in a different color, white or something.
When you actually take and you wrap the whole room, it opens, it expands it, it shapes the room. And the floor, the width of the wide plank floor running the narrow way of the kitchen directly to, gives the kitchen that width. And I think the warm color of the walnut and the hand-scraped walnut floor, it brings together, it wraps again with the blue, and it adds a little bit of contrast to it. And I'm really glad we were able to keep the California cooler that was here and turn it into the wine cabinet for you.
And we have a lot more storage for wine, too.
We've given you the drawer here, which of course is the place for your wine openers and everything, where you have that. And then it's backlit. And then of course when you're sitting across the way in the banquette, It's almost like a fireplace being lit when you look at the colors of the glass. It's different, but yet it relates to the glass that we designed for the back door. It's kind of like it happened over time. You know, the old against the new, you know, the original architecture of the house against all of the folk art.
Well, the cool thing about new technology is, you know, using, when you brought in these things, you know, like nobody did this in the 20s.
No, but
I can actually find all my spices now.
And then, of course, the dogs have their own table now.
The dogs are really happy about it.
And
if they could, they'd be barking right now and approval and slobbering all over it, you know.
And we were able to give you the banquette and keep your table that you wanted, and the ultra suede on there, which is so lush
really
feeling,
makes it
will
rich.
hold up incredibly well. You can spill ketchup, the dogs can lick it off, it'll be fine.
It's good.
It'll really hold up.
That's what's going to happen.
You know, and we hope so. And then the shelving here gives you another excuse to display all of your wonderful artifacts and beautiful things that mean so much to you.
And you kept the same curves that were originally in the kitchen. David, I don't even know how to say thank you. It's been quite a long road getting here, but we did it with your help, and you just did an amazing thing.
Just hope you have many, many, many years of happiness here.
Well, we certainly plan on it, and we thank you for allowing us to actually like this room now.
Yeah, we're never going to go out again. We're going to be just in the kitchen all the time.
We hope so. My idea was to trap you here forever. But thank you, and I think that's what design really is about.
Designer David Levine created an eclectic kitchen with the conveniences of today and the charm and character of yesterday. Thanks for joining us on Designer's Challenge. We'll see you next time when we put 3 more designers to the test. I'm Chris Harrison.
Last night you were going, well, I go, hey, this part looks really roomy now. And he goes, well, there used to be a wall here. And I had already forgotten there was a wall. I forgot what the old kitchen even looked like, so that's a good sign.